Hello, this is Miss Candy from TPOT Media. Welcome to Dark Exodus.
Sometimes it's just a few who are speaking the truth. The truth catches fire, and that's what's happening now.
We have 18 generations of slave master training.
Dark Exodus. Think about this.
This is X from the Prophet of Thought series. You know, and I'm back with another. And the darkness continues, and so does the slavery time thinking, especially when it comes to how we interact with each other. I have given this a lot of thought and can't help but to wonder, why is there so much animus amongst us as black folks? Of course, when this question is asked, there are thousands of answers to it. But if you really drill down into it, the answer is simple. Many of us think like slaves. Yeah, we may be free to come and go as we please, can pretty much live wherever we want to live. We can go to schools and universities. We can own homes and automobiles. So of course, we are not slaves in the literal sense. But I think we are mental slaves to a system that has taught us to think ill of each other, even more so than we think ill of other people. I often say, we look at each other through white folks' eyes, conditioned to despise and dislike the next black person, because many of us dislike and despise ourselves. Many of us have tried to explore and discover the origins of this kind of mentality. We try to come up with the solutions to these problems, as if we could actually get enough people to implement these solutions en masse and in enough parts of this country to get with our program. Let me be the first to say that most of us have been successful in being unsuccessful. So I have always deferred to minds who possess more historic knowledge than I do, falling back on the elders who lived through more different times than I, putting the question to them, where did we get this anti-black, antagonistic mind frame from?
We are a product of 465 years of slave teaching, and that has been our master teacher who has put all these ideas in our head and told us to hate each other, because that's one way to repress the people. So we have to acknowledge that, instead of saying that was something happened a long time ago. No, it didn't. It's happening every day, right here, everywhere we go.
It's obvious this is true. Why else would we be walking around with the his ice is colder syndrome? And even if some of us break free of the mental slavery that binds many of us and make an effort to do more, have more, be more, there's usually someone that looks just like us trying to dissuade and discourage it, letting themselves be enslaved by the slave mentality. Because again, that person who tries to do better is once again being looked at by another black person, but being seen with white folks' eyes, telling you how you can't do it, telling others how you do it wrong. And if that is not the case, and what you have built and started happens to take off, you probably won't get much business from those who look like you. Our businesses are always the first ignored and the last chosen, unless folks come in for a deal. You know, a hookup. One of the few times we want black solidarity. You know, I'm black, you're black, so you should look out. Give me your product and subtract the price from our We Both Black discount card. Something they would never try at the white stores, Hispanic stores, or Asian stores. Because what a black man tries to sell, whether it's a product, service, or time, has less value to us than those other people. Doesn't require the respect we give other groups. The question is, why? Why?
We have all of that history of being taught to self-hate ourselves, to devalue our efforts of whatever we produce.
This is why many amongst us have given up. You hear people speak of being discouraged by the white power structure, but never speak of how many of us have discouraged each other, which I think is the most lethal form of discouragement of all. To be disenfranchised and ostracized by white folks is nothing new to black folks, and it would appear enduring the very same thing from black folks is nothing new either. There were always Sambos amongst us who made it their business to perpetuate a Caucasian agenda by turning on other black folks. That slave who beat other slaves to keep from being beat himself, thinking he would win favor with the slave master. That slave who told on other slaves if he discovered they planned to escape, because these slaves had no intention of gaining or even thinking of freedom, and wanted to make sure others didn't either. Those were the slaves that didn't require watching or monitoring, because their master knew they were mentally chained, so physical chains were unnecessary. Harriet Tubman said it best. She said she could have freed many more if they knew they were enslaved. This is what it all comes down to, people. We can only free those who know they are chained, and we can't even free them if we haven't first freed ourselves. Some of us are in mental prison, which is different from a physical prison. If in a physical prison, barring being in there for murder or something just as bad, one day someone will turn a key, push a button, and you will walk right out. But a mental prison is different. There is no key, no button, so it is hard to get out of. I think mental slavery is the same way. It's not easy to escape from, even if you have escaped the plantation, so to speak. Even if you've made your way to my shop, I have a cutting tool for everything. There's no chains that I couldn't cut off of you and free you from. But freeing you from those mental chains ultimately is going to be up to you, because no matter how much we talk, debate, philosophize, or pathologize, the bottom line is some of us will never break free from mental slavery.
We don't trust each other. We devalue what each other contributes, and we don't believe in each other. We have to change those things.
Dark X.
The frontistery. You know.
Dark Exodus. You understand? Yeah, X. Open your mind.
Only from TPOT Media. Open your minds.